Hello everyone and welcome to JS News. This is DevSpresso JS News episode 7. My name is JJ. Today with me is Peter. Hey Peter.
Hey.
Alright, and in this week's news, what do I have? I have Astro 2.6 update. I have information about some Security.txt takes TEF files. That's gonna be nice. And there's a Deno state of edge functions report. I'm gonna discuss that. How about you, Peter?
I want to talk about news from WWDC this year's.
Of course.
So about new features from Safari and its Webkit Features. Then I will talk a little bit about Polypane, so something about the browser. Then NakedJS. That might be interesting. And hey, let's talk about node updates, like as we always do.
Alright, great. Then let's roll the intro.
DevSpresso.
Alright, so I believe we're starting with your news. What's new in Safari, right?
Yeah, what's new in Safari? WebKit is something big, and we always do love, like as a web developers, we always love and do. Last week, WWDC 2023 or 23 actually happened. So we got a bunch of new stuff, new systems, new iOS, new iPad OS, and new Mac OS. And with them, new Safari. And for that, there are a lot of things. Firstly, web apps, which means maybe there is a PWA in desktop PWA by Safari. Yes, it is, and it is even that good that you don't need to have a manifest file for it. If you want to use service worker, you can do it. It will work better, but you don't need them. So it is so good. Like, if you are very interested, go to the WebKit's blog, and there they have a proper session from WWDC called "What's New in Web Apps." And then you can learn every single thing about it. But this is very cool. Next, you probably heard, most of us heard, that Apple is doing spatial, which means the extended reality, like the AR of it.
It's kind of a first time that I'm interested in that technology. It's big.
It's big, and Apple Vision Pro is probably one of those new devices. It is expensive, but it is the new device and technology that will bring things to us. And with
give it 2 years,
Yeah, but for us as web developers, you're probably thinking how to use your web technologies to actually do things in spatial, and for that Apple is already prepared, or they're trying to be prepared. And they called spatial web. So they introduced the proper HTML model tag, which represents easily 3D models within the web, and you don't need to script it. You just paste a model src to your 3D model. That's it. That's how it will render, and it is very, very simple. There is an interactive attribute if you want to make it interactive. So, like, you actually will have an immersive web in the end of the day, and that extends with WebXR. So, the technology for AR and VR for the WebGL. So right now, most of it, like a lot of support will be building into Safari, or actually to the WebKit engine. That's things. Bigger
model. Sorry. I got stuck on model. This model HTML tag. I cannot find it. It's like model element.
Model element. Yeah. Model.
Okay. I have specification. Abstract allowing 3D graphical content. Okay. So they are focusing more on displaying 3D right now. So there are sources, pictures, and handling this. Well, okay, and that's pretty obvious. Okay, I could figure that out on my own. Sorry.
Another things are like images. So support for JPGs XL, which are like those big things, like big images that you want to have, and they're even more compressed. So that's perfect. Of course, the support for their own format called high efficiency image compressed or something like that.
Of course.
And finally, there will be a better support for image sets. And I love it because then you can just add another formats wherever you need it in an image set for an image. A lot of about videos. Webkit is every single time it extends the support. They're trying to be better, trying to add new formats, new codecs. It's better right now. You can properly show your stats, your media stats, to show what's the source file, what's the viewport, how many frames you have. So yeah, that's perfect. And a lot of things about CSS. Like, we know that there is an inline CSS already, but they added things more. They're counter styles, which is gives you a proper counter whenever you need it for the proper symbols. Font adjustments, text transforms, media queries, like new media queries actually on the level 4, and more and more and more of like the update that they did, and this is only for beta.
It's enormous.
It's enormous, and I love how they do it because, in my opinion, Safari or WebKit might be actually the future of web. It's not Chromium as an engine. I think WebKit becomes one, and that actually is very supportive with what I sent you today, the image of one guy who actually is working in Tauri, and Tauri is based on WebKit in most of cases. They launched an application on Apple Watch, and I love that.
Looks awesome. Yes, I love that as well. That's awesome.
So yeah, the update is enormous. I'm not even talking about what they did for web developer tools, because they also redesigned it, made it work with simulators. For example, if you want to simulate the device, so for example an iPhone and you have a Mac, you can just click open it in simulator, and Safari, it will open simulator and open Safari and your web page directly into it. It's super.
I'm overwhelmed by the section HTML. There are so many HTML tags and so many methods, so many things that they upgraded or provided, but still I can see still it's still browser's war, and it's like they added support for popover HTML attribute, and I'm checking, can I use popover, and it's like, nope, you probably should not. Chrome and Edge are only supporting it. 17 version of Safari now starts, and no other browser does, or no other browser does. So it's like, okay, I understand. You want that, and you need that for something, so you're gonna be using that right now.
Just place the placeholder. Use Chrome or Safari, and you need to have a Safari 17. So right now you need to be a developer beta.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, then let's move to another news, which is Astro 2.6. And 2 weeks ago, 2 episodes ago, we were talking about Astro 2.5 that came out. And then, for example, hybrid mode was experimental. Right now, many big things became stable. And let's go through it. So, for example, middlewares. Middlewares are now stable, they were not, and they will allow you to run the code before and after the page is rendered or returned to the user. So as this As they state, this of course allows Astro to bring new layer of control with new hooks for authentication, redirects, and all this kind of mechanics that you could be interested in doing. And also there is object called local that is passed to this middleware sense persistent. So yeah, okay. We've seen this kind of mechanism earlier. I'm happy that they start working in Astro.js right now and they are in stable mode. Okay, hybrid SSR output mode. So it was also experimental. It's not experimental anymore. And this mode will allow you to render SSR whenever it can be rendered in SSR, and it will default to client-side rendering. It's like I feel that I'm not talking about anything new. I'm talking only about things that I'm happy that you finally managed to implement that on your side, you know? Yeah, that's great. Yeah, well, of course, they are still expanding and providing new things. Also, custom client directives are stable right now, and this is something that was interesting. It's like client idle, client visible. There are many client hover. There are many different ones in Astro, and right now they should be stable. This should be very useful when you're working on a project, like not to need to focus on that. Just hit the directive, like put the action, what will be happening there on this interaction, and let's go with it. And yeah, I can.
Whenever I'm just talking here about the custom client directive, I love it. Like, for me, it gives a vibe of Angular a little bit, but I love it how you can actually tell Astro, hey, actually load this component for client, but only when the client is interactive. And that's perfect.
Yes.
That's super perfect because you can load your actually application or web app very, very fast to show things on the screen, and then whenever you scroll, there might be client visible to say, oh, load this image whenever there's visibility. So while scrolling through the viewport, then you show it. It's
exactly.
perfect. I actually, that's something I will miss from Astro. It's not here in Next.js yet.
Yeah, well, as you've said that it's cool that things are happening and showing here, but I'm thinking more like I'm getting a little bit tired about the fact that everything's starting to look like React or working like React did, or with Next.js, what Next.js did before like Vercel took over, or even after. I cannot say that they did anything wrong there. They are doing great things, but I'm getting tired of that. And Astro is like something fresh. It seems to be a little bit different.
It seems that's the discussion that I had with Franet, as far as I remember. But in the end of the day, it comes to the same discussion as you got on the beginning of saying we are not telling something new. We are not referencing something like Next.js already did that, or Gatsby did it, or others did it. But Astro feels, as you said, fresh, and you are not like the opinion. They don't have an opinion which framework you will use. You want to use React? Do it. You want to use Angular? Do it. You want to use Vue? That's perfect. And I love it how Astro is going for that. But in the end of the day, they are very, very Next.js-y, and things are very, very Next.js-y, as for example those middlewares or redirects.
Well, you know, if you want to have a new library, then like you can still switch to Svelte or something like that. We are talking about framework here, and like this kind of things are frameworky things. So let them do their own thing.
Yeah, of course. I love that there is a proper. Let's think about it as they actually need to have a war between Astro and Next.js and Gatsby and all the frameworks that we know.
Yeah, it's like all of them start to providing same functionalities, same or similar solutions, and I'm happy about it because it shows that there is some kind of standard that is appearing, yeah,
Yeah.
and that's great. That's obviously awesome. And next thing that they did, and they did it according to newest standards. They released their package Astro.js image, and it was provided in Astro 1.0, but currently after many more downloads they've decided also to update it, and they've provided many new things. So there's automatic layout shift prevention, CLS prevention. That's cool. That's one of the main metrics of Lighthouse, and they are making whatever they can to prevent this cumulative change. So that's great. First class Markdown support, because they are supporting MDX very strong, and Mark Docs and this kind of things. And also when it comes to images, integration with third-party APIs was upgraded. So these are all very, very good changes, because Next.js tried with their Next.js/image. We've checked that at the beginning. It was worse than our own personal implementation with, what did we use there? Contentful, right? Cloudinary.
Cloudinary.
Yeah, well, it was some years
But it
back.
got better in the end of the day. It got better.
I believe you, Peter. Yeah, you do you. Okay, and this will be all from the Astro side. So there are many things that were provided in stable version right now, and I think it's a good thing. Like those middlewares, this is something that definitely could be a problem when developing app, and when you don't have this kind of option of integrating something. It's obvious pattern that you would like to use for many things, right? Like, yeah, let's put that in middleware. No, not here, man. No, we don't do that. We don't do that here, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
All right.
Let's go to the next news, and that's my news. I don't know if you heard, but there is a web browser for web developers, and it's called Polypane.
There were
And the funny part is, it works on Chromium. Like every single browser that I know that is different than something else, it works on Chromium mostly. And of course, there's a lot of changes because new version came out, which is Polypane 14. It's based on Chromium 114. And a lot of things has been added. There's a UI refresh of how browser looks like. But the whole idea about Polypane is that there are features that are developer first, which means, as an example, you can, in a single window, you can open 3 different viewports and test your application in desktop, in tablet mode, that the horizontal one, and the mobile viewport. Every single thing on a one single screen with one single scroll, and that's super perfect. And I love how Polypane actually works. There's one single problem with it. The problem is it is actually needed to be bought. Like there's a proper.
Oh, you need to pay for that.
You need to pay for that, and they have a subscription, which I don't like. They have a free trial for 14 days, but they have subscriptions.
€10 per month for individual.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Okay. Like, if I would pay €5 for every tool that I'm using, like, the world would be still in 1920.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe so. Like, that's why I think I'm not against it. If your company wants to pay you for that app, use it. You will love it. I can tell you, you will love Polypane if you'll try it. But I don't think if you're an individual, you will actually buy it for €10 or 40 zlotys or something in that area. because it is a little bit too much when you have Chrome, or Chromium if you don't like Google. It's for free. You have Safari by default for WebKit. You have Firefox, which is for free, and you have their engine. So I don't see actually the point to pay Polypane for just doing things that are a little bit better.
For me, the problem here is that actually I don't believe that this tool will give me everything.
Exactly, I have the same feeling.
Like I'm using many browsers. I'm checking my work on different browsers and so on and so on. But it's like I still don't believe that this tool would be something that would help me. It's like this will not solve all my problems. End of the story. That's why I'm not interested for paying.
Yep. Exactly.
It's not good. Not good. Okay, next very, very small thing, because I have really small news this week. News is about Dutch government. Dutch government requires from all the government pages that they have to, the Security.txt file is mandatory for them right now. They voted. They voted on 25th of May, I believe, or something around that. It's not important for me. What's more important is that security.txt file is it starts to becoming kind of a standard right now. And when you go to security.txt.org page, it's like you can easily find out what is it, and you can generate your own file in here. And they state here that Google, Facebook, GitHub, they all implemented that, and then UK government's Ministry of Justice required to update all the pages, then French, then Italian, and right now Dutch and Australian governments joined. I believe it's really cool because this file should contain contact info and contact info for a person to which you should report if you find any kind of vulnerabilities. If there is any kind of a problem that you can find there, this should be a person that you could contact. Like, could it be any simpler? It could not.
Yeah.
It's like,
it could not.
Go with it.
It's just one single
and this page. Exactly. And this page allows you to create this file by just providing information. It will automatically generate your security.txt file. I'm going to talk tomorrow with my PM about that in our project, because we could actually create this kind of files, I believe, for our clients. So it's gonna be a topic. And this is all that I wanted to say. So they've implemented it. I think it's a good move. Like being transparent and where to communicate what. It's like
hopefully our Polish government will have it.
Next news.
Let's go to next news. So before we talked about Astro, that Astro is very framework agnostic. Imagine that there is a proper library which is framework agnostic but for JSX, and they call it NakedJSX, which means you don't need to use React to actually have JSX files. So in the end of the day, you can use JSX files, so JSX structure, for example, with jQuery if you want.
Sounds nice.
It sounds nice. It's a command line tool mostly with a proper library from NPM, where you just add things and render stuff. So actually you can recreate or create your own React library if you want to with this NakedJSX. So it's cool. But I probably won't use it. I love React and JSS with React. I don't see the point to have it.
Yeah, it's like it's another day, another tool, another framework, another solution. Like people are providing solution to their problems. Nobody's saying that you're having same problem. So if somebody thought about this possibility, then why not? Why not create that?
Yeah, probably maybe I will use it in the future, but right now I don't need that.
Okay,
Let's go
understandable. Let's go next. So another small update. This is Eslint-sorting-perfectionist, and I just wanted to tell about this package because I've already installed it today on a repo that I should not install it on, but I did it anyway, and I love it. It's like I love Eslint. I love
Wow.
Eslint. I love setting Eslint. I love rules of Eslint. I'm really against all those big sets of rules like Airbnb sets of rules and so on. Let's go with the native sets of rules of your framework of your setup, because there are 9 out of 10 are already providing sets of rules,
Yeah.
right? Like next, not next, like whatever you name it. And I really like to use Eslint. I really hate when developers are not configuring their tools properly on local development, and they are always like I'm pulling changes, doing Control S, Eslint fired up, and everything is switched. It's like, dude, man, so simple. You should have done it. But this package is doing something that I was looking for a long time, and there were different solutions of sorting things with Eslint, but this one actually managed to do it the way I'd like it. It handles everything without too much configuration and so on, and it just allows you to sort things. It can sort imports, it can sort keys in your objects, it can sort your TypeScript definition files, like sort your enums interfaces, like whatever, you name it. I love it so much when I'm hitting Command S or Control S, like whatever, and all my imports are automatically sorted, like
Shifted.
pom pom. These are from packages imports. These are local packages. These are CSS. Yeah, just with Command S. I love that, and this package actually does it. And 4 days ago, they went with the version 1.0 on GitHub. I really wish them luck. Yeah, because
I will try
I'm
it.
not using
I will try it.
I'm not using any packages that are below version ones. Nah, not my story. I'm checking them, but I'm not gonna go into production.
Yeah,
I'm not suggesting them to clients and so on.
But they are
And
already
this one is in
1.0.
1.0. Yeah, exactly. And they are 1.0 for 4 days. So tomorrow is gonna be a happy day for you, like.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love it. I love how things are turning out. And I also missed that kind of a tool to have it
Yes.
sorted out how things work, to have it within one command S. But also, I missed that kind of a thing where you actually, with your VS Code plugin for saying how many kilobytes it actually takes to have that import. I don't have such things. So
Yes.
right now
Yes.
with this, you can easily sort it out, have it imported. You just, okay, so my locals are actually lower and much lower than the things that I'm actually implementing. Maybe I'll get rid of it of this third party. Get rid of it. And that's perfect. I love it.
This sorting is very important for me from a point of view of senior developer, because when I'm going through a code base and I see within a file that there is some system, like I can see that there is empty line between packages imported from npm and local imports, right? It's like, for me it's obvious. Okay, when I add some import, if it's gonna be from a package, I'm gonna put it up. If it's gonna be from local, I'm gonna put it down. And then I'm getting pull requests that just don't care about imports.
Yeah.
And from my point of view, as Uncle Bob said, like, your code should be like a book. There should be a possibility to read it like a book. Is it possible to read it like a book if your imports are messed up? It's like,
No.
yes, it could be, but is the reader happy at that moment? I'm not. I'm like, automatically I have something in my eye and I have scratched.
It's
all my
burning,
body.
and
It's
you're
I
like
don't feel
trying
it.
to find the proper way. Yeah. So
Yes,
first things,
yes.
you'll actually try to fix the problems in the book
Yes.
to actually
yes.
reread it after it. Yeah.
Yes, so this kind of package is solving like this last problem that I cannot find solution with some developers. Like, so there is a package. Yep. See you later. See you
See ya.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that's just recommendation from me to you.
I will use it.
Right, let's move to another. Of course, we have I see node updates.
Node
Please,
updates,
Peter,
node-
please provide me with node updates.
Nothing big. So first things first, birthdays. Which means Node.js actually turned 14 years old. So it's a teenager. And it actually got this birthday on the May of 27th. 2019, it was the 2009, sorry, 19. 2009 was the first release of Node.js, and it's 14 years since we got that. And the proper Node updates is we're already past that line. So as of June 1st, Node.js 19 is now end of life in the life cycle, which means it will not get any further updates. And that's a little bit funny because a lot of edge functions, a lot of CI/CDs, they are still using Node 18 as far as I remember. So probably there will be a fast update to Node 19 to just have it set it up. But let me just check, because in my opinion, as far as I remember at least, Node.js it is right now in 18.16.0 is LTS. Current is 20.3.0. So yeah, like you should probably use 20.3 if you want to be very up to date, and that will be it. Like, nothing more.
All right. Another week, another node updates. But we won't be talking about GitHub this week. We won't be talking about GitHub.
Oh yeah, we won't be talking about it.
All right. Last thing, we'll try to be quick here. There's a report, State of Edge 2023. Report was created by Deno. Deno just created those questions, and they've gathered the answers and displayed them. And there are a few questions that are pretty interesting. This report isn't very long. It's only around 18, I would say 18 questions. I can see 18 questions, but there are a few that are interesting for me. So, for example, which of the following steps in working with edge functions have been most frustrating? I would say that the existence of this technology is like the most frustrating thing for me. Like, I understand the need and so on, but it is what it is. The first answer is debugging behavior in live functions. Second thing is integrating with third-party APIs and databases. Like, my God, this is exactly why this was created, and this is something that's one of the most irritating things, right? Okay, then what irritates people more is like building them, checking them, testing, like everything in the.
Still is the same. Like edge function. So actual lambda is very hard to test edge function because it is a lambda. It's just a function that just does stuff, doesn't render things. It just does stuff, and
yeah,
it's frustrating for developers to say, "Hey, like, it's very hard to test edge function." It's very hard to test it.
Where are you deploying your edge functions? The most popular answer is Cloudflare workers. Then it's Fastly, Deno deploy, Vercel, Azure, GCP, Netlify edge functions, and then there is AWS. That's interesting for me. I didn't think that AWS would be so far on this list, but when I see Fastly there's a note here that they always left the open field if you want to provide some different info. So people were providing the info that they were deploying functions on Fly.io, Render Portal, and PTS.io, RTEdge.net, Knative, and Supabase. And I don't mean I know all those portals, but from what I guess, these are just portals that are doing it better than the native provider of Lambda functions, which would be AWS,
Yeah.
Azure, Cloudflare, or something there, right? So this is like systems for using them. So Cloudflare workers are definitely winning this question. That's cool. When it comes to language, have you seen that?
Yeah,
When it
I
comes
saw
to
that.
language,
You know that I already hate the answer, but
well,
I don't like it.
of course, it's TypeScript. Second
Yeah.
is JavaScript, and then there is a very big space with nothing in it, and there's Java, Go, Python, and all the other things.
See, for
So,
me, it's very interesting that Rust is very low. Because we know Rust is
yeah.
very, very fast. But I know why TypeScript and JavaScript is so high on the list, and I know why, because the support of those languages, and actually the support of JavaScript, because that's probably the thing. TypeScript compiles to JS, and so JS is actually should be it should be a little bit other way around, or at least it should be cumulated.
Yeah, but like creating all the environment for the Lambda written in JavaScript, I suppose would be simpler than doing it for Java.
Yeah, it is.
Or for Rust for sure.
It is like JS is very function language. Python it is also, but JS is just more. You can just run it in the browser. You can run it with Node.js if you want to, in your CLI or your command line.
Yep, exactly.
Etc. Etc. It is very, very, very easy to actually run it as an edge function.
True. Yeah. And another question, because I have two questions more. What have been the most valuable individual use case for edge functions so far? And the most popular answer: gluing together APIs and databases. Of course it is. Of course it is.
There's a little bit funny part, because I'm using it. It is the most valuable for me to just glue together APIs or databases. What you frustrates the most? Actually integrated with third-party APIs or databases.
Gluing things together irritates me the most. And then it irritates me that I have to do it with Lambda functions.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And then there is, of course, authentication, load balancing, and things that actually make sense.
Oh, yeah.
But the last question, and this is kind of a topic that currently is very popular. How do you predict your overall usage changing in 2023 versus the prior year? And the first answer: big decline. Big decline. Then it's moderate decline. Moderate increase is pretty popular for almost half of the responders. Big increase is bigger than big decline. But what I want to say is I'm not surprised by seeing this big decline and moderate decline answers being so popular. There's a big change in shift in architecture right now, and even if with these documents, AWS, who from AWS removed Prime Video, right?
No, Prime Video. Yeah,
Prime Video. They've removed
yeah.
all the exactly. They've removed. It's like, well, I don't think it's gonna do good for business. I don't think Amazon Prime that it was nice move from your side for all the AWS infrastructure, right? Yeah, so big decline, and the last thing, no, because this was your prediction, big decline. Yeah, I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah,
so that will be all from my side.
I love the report. I can tell you, I like it very, very much. It is very, very simple. You can see what's going on.
Yes, exactly.
As always, this is just a report, so it actually tells you something, but not everything. And in the end of the day, you can see we are trying a little bit to predict what will happen, what's going on. So edge functions, from 2019 to 2023, we actually tried to use them in very different use cases. We tried to make them actually working. And right now, a lot of seniors are saying, yeah, like it is good, but only for specific things. As an example, you use your edge function not every single time, but very, very brief, like whenever you use it. So it will be not 24 hours, even like every week. That's where edge function works. But when you have things that are on a scale run actually every second, that's when edge functions, it scales, but it is not 100% perfect. And you can see that running the same thing on just one single monorepo or one single code base and big project without edge case in microservices. So you have a monolith in the end of the day. It works better. And so we are in a actually very interesting times, because we got a big hiccup about, hey, let's do everything microservices and serverless. And right now we are saying, maybe we'll not do serverless. We love it, but...
So there's a question about that. Yeah, because we are more rather speaking about edge functions here and those lambdas there as well. But the question is here, do you agree with the statement? I believe that many new websites and their applications will be run fully at the edge in the next 3 years. And it's like 50-50.
It's like 50-50.
There's very, very strong disagree answer. It's very popular answer, but strongly agree is also very popular. Also, all the answers are like somewhere similar when it comes to the number of answers. So it's like we still don't know what will happen with this technology. Like it's possible already to do many things with edge computing, but but we are not sure if we'll be using it in a few years, right? I haven't heard about anything that would gain something more than obviously price, but I don't recall any situation, any reports about somebody gaining very much after focusing on rewriting their system to work on edge specifically, right? So I haven't heard about that yet. All right, but that will be all about this report, and that will be also all of our news for this week, as I believe.
Exactly.
All right, Peter, we've been sitting here already for 40 minutes, so I'm gonna keep it short. Thank you very much for coming today. This was JS News episode 7 this week. And have a lovely week.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much for the invitation. And we'll probably see and hear with a lot of you who are actually listen or watch us next week with other members of DevSpresso.
Yep, we're still waiting for Alexander and Sebastian to activate themselves after the JS News reboot. They are still too occupied with different things that they are doing, but yeah, they will join us shortly, and I believe that people will stop seeing you and me so often then.
So often, yeah, exactly.
All right. Thank you very much for this week, Peter, and let's roll the outro. Hey, thanks for staying till the end. This is obviously outro message with all the links and information that could help you to support us or just contact us. And we greatly appreciate both. This channel is not supported by any big company or organization, so any donation is really gonna make a big difference and will allow us to expand and provide more content like that for you. You can contact us on social media like TikTok or Instagram for now. Also, we have special email address if you'd like to reach out to us or just give us feedback. We really appreciate that and we're looking forward to hearing from you. And if you really think that we've earned it, you can buy us a coffee. Link is here. So thank you again. All the links are down in the description and see you next week. Don't forget to like and subscribe.